There's 7 ways you can keep turning a profit, even during a recession or any other kind of economic downturn. Where you invest your time and money is key, and if you're putting your money in the wrong places, you're going to face hard times with guaranteed difficulty. So there's no reason to drown in worry and scarcity through this inevitable recession coming our way, because you can follow this tried and true advice and come out on top. Let's begin with number 1. It's all about liquidity. This is about building up an automated system to create cash. See, I want you to automate your savings and then be deliberate with your investing. Automate your savings, and savings means it's available, it's accessible, it's not going to go down when the market goes down. Now, it might not make any money, right? It's just sitting there, but part of sitting there is to build up peace of mind. And more importantly, when the recession hits, have money so you can make money on the buy. What do I mean by making money on the buy? Well, I have a friend named Bob, and Bob's brilliant at helping distressed sellers. Distressed sellers are people that have a property, might even have some equity, but they got to get rid of it for one reason or another. Maybe they can't keep their mortgage payments going, or it's keeping them up at night because they bit off a little bit more than they could chew, or the impending recession starts to worry them and it starts to destroy their life, and he can help them create liquidity and make money on that purchase because of the type of property it is. Well, guess what? You got to have cash to do that. So liquid cash really helps a ton more during recessions, because during a recession, if people are only focused on net worth and they're building up that net worth, and then all of a sudden they don't have enough cash flow, they have to liquidate their assets. And who do they liquidate them to? People with cash. I want you to build liquidity. Number 2, protect the downside. You don't have to participate in the downside of the next recession. So if you have an investment, you can set up a trailing stop loss. What is that? It's where you automatically move to cash if the market goes down by a certain percentage. So if you've got retirement plans like 401ks and IRAs, if you've got investments in the stock market, you can hedge the downside. You can make sure you move to cash so you don't have to keep going down when everybody else is losing their money. What do you do instead? Well, invest in yourself. You are your greatest asset. Where can you figure out your skill sets, your investor DNA? What are your core competencies when it comes to investing? What investments make sense to you? Continue to increase that skill set, that knowledge, and discover your investor DNA so you become a better investor, because risk, guess what? It's not in the investment, it's in you, the investor. And what I want you to do is make sure you stay productive, not succumb to frustration. People that are relying on other people, they're handing their money over, they don't know how it works, they don't know when to get out, they have zero exit strategy, right? And they're just hoping that in the long haul it's going to work out. They get frustrated during downturns. I want you to stay productive, invest in yourself, understand your skill sets, do what you can do to become more productive today so that you can be part of the leadership and supporting during that time. Because look, I just talked to a couple of my clients, and they dealt with a hurricane 9 months ago. And in that hurricane, if we go 10 years before there was Hurricane Irene, they were not prepared. And when Hurricane Irene hit, they didn't have any food storage, they didn't have any extra gas on their property, they didn't have enough cash reserves so that when they couldn't practice because they're doctors, during that time it just decimated them. So instead of getting into survival mode when there's a downturn or a difficulty, you can thrive because you're a leader, you can be productive, you've got liquidity. You've invested in yourself. You've protected the downside by being mindful of these things. Now, the third thing is you got to stop tipping the government. It's your duty and responsibility to save on taxes legally and ethically. So how can you maximize your deductions? How can you make sure that each dollar can be more productive? Because in today's tax environment, the more productive the dollar, the better you get with tax deductions. Here's an example. I just heard Tom Wilwright speak recently. He talked about, hey, guess what? If you have a home office, you actually can write off more of your vehicle. Why? Because you're at home and going from your home office to another office. Now that's giving even more justification for that vehicle. You're maximizing deductions. So in what other ways can you maximize your deductions? Whether that's paying your kids, and that's tax deductible and they don't have to claim income, whether that's renting out your home to your business for 14 days a year, or whether it's making sure that you're documenting every dollar you spend that goes into being more productive for your business, you've got to start saving on tax and build a tax team. Number 4. This is about restructuring, relocating, and reallocating when it comes to your loans. I want you to restructure your loans to lower your payments. We're in a pretty historically low interest environment for a long period of time now. Are you paying too much interest because you don't have the right credit score, you don't have the right cash flow reporting, or maybe not the right collateral, or maybe even not the right connections? But if you restructure your loans, maybe you have a credit card, you refinance it into a car loan, that's going to lower your payments. Maybe you have a mortgage and you have a lot of equity there and you refinance that and pay off a business loan, and all of a sudden you have lower interest payments, right? We want to lower those payments. So move money where it counts. Do you have any unperforming or underperforming assets? Something like a certificate of deposit or a mutual fund that's losing money right now. What if you were to cash that out if it's earning less and pay it off a higher interest rate loan? That's a guaranteed return. So I want you to look at renegotiating your interest rates as well. Do you have any high interest rates that you can call the company up and lower the interest simply by negotiating that? Credit cards are simple to do this with, but there are other loans like even a mortgage where you can do a streamlined refinance and stay with the same entity or organization. All right, number 5, it's time to get good insurance. The most expensive insurance dollar you have is the first one that you pay for. It's time to get rid of duplicate coverages or improper structure so that you only insure catastrophic things, not inconsequential things. So you raise deductibles, you drop short-term insurances if you have enough savings set aside, you increase your elimination period on certain insurances so it doesn't kick in till longer. And guess what happens? You massively lower your premiums so you can invest that back into yourself, build up your liquidity, but you're transferring the catastrophic things so if something major happens, the insurance company's on the hook and not you. 6, protect precious time. There's so much busyness out there in the world, and busyness robs people. I hear this as like a mantra for people. I'm just so busy. I'm just so busy. Well, what things can you stop doing so you can do more of what you do best? What can you do that's the most productive, adds the most value, brings the most profits to your life? And what things can you delegate or completely eliminate? Complaining, that's a good thing to eliminate. You know, looking at all these things like email all the time incessantly, getting too addicted to social media and just looking at what's going on there, getting too addicted to TV and not having some parameters around that type of busyness can rob us, and especially destructive relationships. People that aren't adding more value to your life, people that are constantly complaining. What if you were to replace that with just the things that you do best, the things that are going to help you to be more profitable, increase your cash flow, and just get rid of those destructive activities and add productive activities? What do you do best, and how can you spend more time in that? And what things, when you look at your calendar at the end of the day, did you do that someone else could have done or that wasn't necessary? That's a game changer. 7th, make more money without creating more work. What are the minimal tweaks that you could do to increase your profit? Could it be the restructuring the loans that we talked about or saving on tax? Could it be finding that you have investment fees that aren't performing for you, but they're costing you, right? What if it's you haven't raised prices in your business for 5 years? Could you increase your prices and all of a sudden you have more profit? Could you go to your existing customers and survey them to figure out what they truly want and add more value either through strategic alliances and relationships or adding more components to what you're already doing so that they pay you more money or pay you for a longer period of time? Could it just be your messaging? Could it be simply that you haven't adjusted your message to attract the right quality of customer or to have a lifetime mindset when they start to work with you? These are the types of things that allow you to be more productive with the existing customer base that you already have. See, the bottom line is it's time to eliminate worry and scarcity. I don't want you to drown in that. We know there's going to be a recession, and too many people are going to be gossiping about it. They're going to be busy discussing it. But guess what? If you follow the tried and true advice with these 7 items, you're going to come out on top. Build out liquidity. Make sure you protect the downside. Eliminate inefficiencies. Get rid of loans that don't make sense and restructure them with better loans. Save on tax. Be more productive. These are the types of things that are going to be more inspiring and more powerful during these crazy times. So when that recession hits, the key is keep your eye on cash flow. Build up plenty of liquidity. You'll be prepared to grow when times get hard. You'll make money on the buy. You'll be looking at everyone else that is saying, please help me, and you can be of help. And you can be one of the 1/3 that become even wealthier during the next recession. Yes, 1/3 of people will have exponential growth. You can be part of that by following the advice I've given you here. So now you have the knowledge to transform your thoughts into profits and build the life you love. If you want more on this topic, check out my video on how to create a wealthy mindset.